January is right round the corner. And is it going to be the same old story for Tottenham in the transfer window? Are we going to back a manager? That is today's talking point. A little short video for you guys, and I have joined alongside regular co-host Sam Chipex. Sam, great to be with you again. Very quickly, mate. You good?
Wearing a coat indoors because I'm absolutely freezing cold. Yeah, thanks Sunak for still neglecting this country, which, speaking of which, really, this tweet that we're going to be looking at is a little bit alarming, isn't it?
Quote goes along the lines of Tottenham being unlucky with injuries, but at the same time, I'm told they won't panic because they know most of these players will be back at the end of December, so they'll reassess the situation then. Overall, I don't see Tottenham spending crazy money in January. That's not the plan at the moment. They're happy with the balance in the squad right now, but of course, the recovery process of some key players will be important, so perhaps they could look for opportunities towards the end of the January window.
Now, I can see what plan is that.
Yeah, that sounds like, to me, we're not going to go into January with this plan of 3 to 4 players. Yes, we know that January can be a difficult time to sign players. However, we have proved in the last week or two that we have no squad depth. We knew this problem was going to occur, not necessarily all at once, but that, for me as a fan, has upset me because why are we just picking up scraps at the end of the window, mate? What is going on there?
This idea of we'll wait for them to recover and then things will be all right again. What? So they're not going to get injured the second time. They're not going to get injured the third time. Neto literally just came back from an injury. He's already injured again. So I don't know what they're thinking in terms of that as a strategy. The problem is that, like you said, with a whole scraps and everything, we just put them all on the bench, those that we didn't get rid of, because let's face it, we nailed it with the signings, but the outgoings has been poor. And they've just been sitting, chilling on the bench until they're needed again. And then you're seeing the same old sorts of performances, just like what we saw against Wolves. The other day, it was literally the 4th or 5th anniversary of Pochettino's sacking. The fan base was divided on where we stood as a club. Like, should he have been sacked? Should we have given him a chance? But there's one thing for certain. Everyone was in agreement that he just simply wasn't backed enough. And 100%. It feels like it's happening again. And you're just still showing the same mentality of how to move forward from here.
Like, it's not just the outgoings from the last window. It's been the outgoings from the previous 3, 4, 5 windows. Like, even maybe more, you could argue. Like, I would personally say that the likes of a Dyer or a Davies should have been sold years ago and replaced with adequate replacements for the future. However, like you've just said, we then throw these players in to the bench for these games like Wolves, where we then have injuries and suspensions and don't have an adequate replacement that we're going to be confident in, especially in an Ange system. I understand as a realistic fan that we can't just give Ange 18 players he wants in one window. But what I do understand as a fan is moving on players that don't deserve to be in the squad under Nuno, Mourinho, Conte, and now Ange. I could name you 10 players off the top of my head that should not be at this club still, that are still at this club. And a lot of these players, like an Ndombele, have been loaned and not even sold, and we still have that problem in the next window.
Dyer's been chilling around this club and been getting still benefits of first-team football when the opportunity comes. So I think that's just, I don't really want to pin it all on Dyer, oh, how dare you be so selfish and stay where you are. But I think that's an issue really with the club as well, for allowing these sorts of players to remain and continue and still have a contract. Don't forget, we were all set to give Dyer a new contract until Postecoglou came in.
According to the source of the Football Insider, apparently Postecoglou does have his heart set on a mid-season boost. So there's two sides to this story. Fabrizio Romano, a tier 1 source, is saying Tottenham don't look like, in a desperate need to sign new players and may pick up some at the end of the window, which seems like the realistic option. But according to other sources, Postecoglou is keen to boost mid-season. It's hard to know for sure, but I do think Fabrizio Romano is normally like sort of the more reliable source. And the fact that he's saying we don't have a set in stone plan in terms of, picking someone up from the first couple of weeks of January, that is a concern.
This is just an interview with Alan Hutton speaking to the Tottenham News. I'll get a screenshot out on the screen about how Leicester, everyone thought that they were going to fall apart, but they go on to win the league. Yes, a bubble was burst for Tottenham, but the build up to until that Chelsea game was just incredible football. And I think the main point really that I think we're arguing about since the start of this video is that the potential is there, but awaiting players to come back from injuries and just making do with the current players that we've got, the same players from last season that we've got, is just not going to go anywhere. It goes back to the arguments of how does a big club think? It's all good having a £1 billion stadium and whatnot, but what are you actually going to do for the football side of things? We need this strengthening. Look, I get it. And as you said to yourself quite rightly, he's not going to be given 18 players. We're not Chelsea either. We're not going to be spending ridiculous amount of money. We need to let our scouting do the work and everything. But how can you just run a football club with this sort of mentality? Yes, I get it. Rome wasn't built overnight, but the Romans certainly did not chill out when the opportunity was there to build on their empire. Everyone might take the piss out of Arteta for saying, it's taken you 4 or 5 years. It's taken Ange Postecoglou just a couple of months. Fine. But he still literally used the process to his advantages, where it's got to the point where I don't think a single player but Saka is in the squad from day one when he first joined. And now look at where they are now.
Because he trials the players for a year or two. If they're not good enough, you move them on, you get an adequate replacement. And that has been a 4-year project for Arteta already. So, and he's annoyingly the benefits are being seen from that system as well. But final point I wanted to make before we sort of wrap things up is sort of looking ahead. Would you be frustrated if we don't sign more than 2 players? Because I personally would, because I think we need another centre back. We need definitely strength in up front as well. What happens if a Sonny gets injured? We're lacking goals. And I think we need a backup fullback option, especially on that left-hand side. You get an Udogie out and you're looking at Ben Davies at left back or an Emerson playing on the other side. It just makes no sense. Sessegnon's been injured, but is he all that good? That's another talking point, but I would say we definitely need another 2 defenders and an attacker. So I think we need to make minimum 3 signings in the January window. For me, what do you think?
Well, realistically, I don't think we're going to make 3 signings. Partly, yes, it's because of the nature of the people above and how they approach the January transfer window. But also, yes, January transfer window is just difficult in general to sign players unless you're a really big side with a lot of cashola. In that case, what I think the best approach would be is to directly replace the weakest links that are still getting first team football. And that would probably have to be defenders. I mean, there's talk of Eric Dyer apparently ready to leave in January, but I don't really know how true that is. And quite frankly, I wouldn't put it past the club to let him carry on until the end of the season. So 100%. For me, the realistic thing to do is to just replace the weakest lot first so we don't have to see them and we can get behind a new change of different players ready to be a part of this Tottenham squad.
Yeah, no, completely agree, mate. Completely agree. Guys, let us know in the comments below, as I said before, your thoughts on this talking point. Do we need to sign over 3 players? Do you think we'll sign players in January? Or do you think, sort of Sam's thinking, you'd be surprised if we make a couple of good signings? And also let us know if you like these kind of shorter video ideas, 10 to 15 minutes, little debates, and hopefully you guys enjoy the fact that you can have a little debate in the comments with other Spurs relatables as well. So smash a like, smash a comment, and smash a subscribe if you're new. Check out Sam on his socials as well, and we'll be back for more content on Spurs related very, very soon. And also let us know if you like these kind of shorter video ideas, 10 to 15 minutes, little debates, and hopefully you guys enjoy the fact that you can have a little debate in the comments with other Spurs relatables as well. So smash a like, smash a comment, and smash a subscribe if you're new. Check out Sam on his socials as well, and we'll be back for more content on Spurs related very, very soon. Have a lovely evening. And as always, guys, remember, come on, you Spurs.